Hello and welcome to the 13th exciting installment of GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo Wii. This is something like a take 6 or 7. I've had so many goddamn easily avoidable problems with this update, it's unreal. Anyway, quick recap. We were over the jungles of Nigeria, got shot down, killed Xenia on a top, and infiltrated Trevelyan solar power facility. And speaking of which, our first objective for this level is to infiltrate the solar power facility. Funny how that works out. Our second objective is to disable the perimeter defenses, just in case we need to make a quick getaway, or we need to call in reinforcements, or whatever. Maybe just to be a dick against Trevelyan, I don't know.
Bond to MI6. I've arrived at the solar facility.
Good work, Bond. And, James, when you confront 006, bear in mind, Trevelyan knows full well the penalty for treason in the United Kingdom is life imprisonment. He's got nothing to live for. Be careful, 007. I've lost one agent. I don't want to lose another. MI6 out.
Now, I haven't watched a whole lot of James Bond videos recently, and I haven't played a lot of the games, but I kind of like that characterization for him.
Me? Antigua, I'm going to take the money and buy a hotel.
Yeah, right. You'll be bored to death in 2 weeks.
Yeah? Well, what are you gonna do?
I hear they're hiring up in Kabul. Big money. Lots of action. You'll be able to start 2 hotels. Start a chain.
Maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah, you keep thinking. That's what you're good at.
Is it? Well, that sucks to be him then. He certainly was the thinker among the two of them because he was carrying a Masterton. The fully automatic shotgun, and in a tight corridor like this, he had a good head on his shoulders. If you're a fan of the melee takedowns in this game, I'm gonna have to disappoint you because I don't really use it that often in this level. Mostly because the guards just make it really difficult to effectively use the melee on them, so I just shoot him in the head. Put that license to kill to good use. You could turn right down this corridor, but I would recommend against it, and I will show you why soon. Unless the guards are standing directly underneath the camera, they will not hear it if you shoot it. They have very selective hearing. Now you're hearing a drone gun and you're seeing its laser, that is why you do not want to take that first right. But instead, if you're in this room, you can shoot that guy in the head and he's standing right next to the console for the drone. And you're in a fairly sheltered area away from the gun, so ultimately the better decision. Anyway, there's another drone right over there, and he's right next to its own console. But we're gonna head into this room first to take out this guy, and remember, since he's standing directly underneath the camera, you don't want to shoot that first. I'm going to switch out the Hawksman for this Kalos. This is going to come in handy soon. And some body armor, just in case you need it, and you will need it fairly soon, because this level, it opens with stealth, but it's not going to stay that way for very long. Anyway, as I was saying earlier, there's a console right over there, and you're easily within hacking distance. The second guy was a fighter. This hallway right here is guarded by 2 more drone guns. It is possible to sneak your way past them, but it's not really worth it. It's way too much hassle for too little gain. So what I'm going to do is just run in, take the ammo, and I'm going to show you a much better option for that corridor. It's right down there. As soon as the drone guns aren't looking, just run and duck. It seems fairly, I don't know, dangerous of Trevelyan's men and just leave I don't know, the panels on the floor open like that. I know the place is new, but you'd think they would be keeping a better eye on the maintenance. That one tunnel puts us right next to the drone guns. Safely out of harm's way, and right over there, easily within hacking distance, is their console. One console for 2 guns. A pretty good trade. Now, one common criticism I have with this game is that in some levels, like, say, Memorial or even Jungle, the guys know that you're there, but it's still a stealth game, a stealth mission for whatever reason. It's weird, like, in Memorial, I believe, at the sewers, they definitely knew you were there, but eventually it just went right back to stealth. While you were, say, just before you were recording that conversation. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. It's a fairly standard gunfight against Trevelyan's men. You have one gun, they have a whole bunch of people and their own guns. So it's obviously a pretty one-sided fight. You are, after all, James Bond. Now, not that I'm complaining about this quirk, but in every FPS, you switch out the entire clip just to replace, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 bullets. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just weird. God, I love this gun. 2 rounds for 2 bodies, man. Automatic shotgun, the best idea ever. Love it.
MI6 to Bond. I'm downloading the blueprints now. There's a cooling plant just to the north of your current position. You'll need to plant explosives there to destabilize the main facility. Tanner out.
And naturally, north means directly ahead of where you're facing. You ever notice that? Whenever someone refers to north, south, east, or west, it's always the direction you're facing as the focal point. Anyway, this is the solar power facility. Say what you will about Alex Trevelyan's evil intentions with money and the British banks, but at least he's thinking green.
Yeah, I saw her once. She just about killed the guy, and that was her sparring partner.
Mother of God. At least she was on our side.
Trust me, she won't be missed. She was on nobody's side but her own.
Just as I was saying earlier, we go straight from run and gun back to stealth. They're just very schizophrenic like that, Trevelyan and his men. We are given a silencer. Not a silencer, a sniper rifle with a silencer on it. And we are given one hell of a sniping position. But I'm not going to fire any bullets here, because we only have 10 bullets, and I want to save them for another section that's coming up. You could easily stealth your way past this part. To your right here is another ammo cache. Contains a whole bunch of guns, some body armor just in case you need it. Like I said, this is stealth, so you might not need it right now. Right there is Masterton ammo, and right here is a Kalos with Grenadier attachment. Fun stuff. I really like the music for this section, at least. 2 guys way off in the distance, and it's entirely possible to vault your way over the concrete barriers to stealth your way up there, but I just want to show this first. The game puts this here. It's a panel for summoning the solar panels. Punch the buttons, and it summons the panels. Now, what purpose could this possibly serve, you may ask? Well, if you're attentive, you'll notice bright red canisters on their backs. So, going by pattern recognition, anything that's bright red, if you shoot it, it does that. But for their actual use, I don't know what the correct word is I'm looking for here, but for their actual use, it's very limited. The panel suggests that the game wants you to press the button as soon as a person is standing right in front of them, so the panel would run them over, I guess. But that never actually happens. They're never in a position for that to actually work. You could do what I do and blow up the panel and take them out in the explosion. That is viable, but it's just much easier to shoot them in the face. Like what I just tried. There's another guy right over there. You could press this button, but again, it does nothing. Nothing useful. It looks very pretty, though. Ultimately, you just shoot him in the face. Now, don't be too hasty coming up here, because this one guy will spawn, and if you run, he will spot you. Two guys way off in the distance coming up. Apparently they both have eye problems because I'm standing right in front of them and they don't notice me. It might be because they have the sun to my back, but at the same time Bond is wearing a bright blue t-shirt. He's not exactly inconspicuous in this place. Still, regardless, I'm sticking to the wall and I'm keeping my gun trained on them just in case they get any funny ideas. Unnecessary though. And with that, we're put right next to our objective marker. Our explosives for blowing up the cooling plants are right here, out in the open. Very convenient, but kind of stupid. As soon as you pick them up, these guys will come out of the elevator. You could probably stealth your way past them, but I didn't think of it at the time. So instead I'm just going to shoot them all in the face. Three guys, 4 bullets. Not perfect, but I'm not going to complain. Over there, in that room, is absolutely nothing. Don't bother looking. And that room is an Ivana Spec R with reflex sight. Just in case.
Descending to basement number 1. Please stand clear of the doors during transit. Doors open.
Over. Let's more men down. Confirm. We'll cover Peter Costa. Out.
Okay, so what now?
Base reports that someone's trying to infiltrate the facility. They're not taking any chances. With the fire on all unknown contacts. Shoot to kill.
Finally, I get to see some action.
Well, it sucks to be you then, doesn't it? This section right here is what I was saving the sniper rifle for. Again, you could probably find out a good way to stealth your way past everybody here, but it's much more fun, much more easier rather, to just do that. Start shooting them all. You only need 5 bullets, and you're given 10 for this gun. Just in case you're a really bad shot. But I suppose you could have used the other 5 bullets if you are a good shot above ground. And that takes care of that. There's one more guy way over there. He's behind the glass. I could shoot him right now, but glass makes noise when it's shot, so I'd rather not. This room looks important. Now, just like before, don't be too hasty because the game pulls a bit of a dick move right here. As soon as you approach this part of the room, those 2 guys will spawn. Really easy to take care of, though. That was me trying to be funny, but it didn't quite work as well as I had hoped to. Pictures of anti-aircraft guns, it looks like, with a diode right above them. I have no idea why this Wi-Fi diode manages the... what are they called? The perimeter defenses, that's it. I have no idea why that Wi-Fi diode manages those perimeter defenses, but there you go. Since we're done with the sniper rifle, we're going to be switching out for this Ivana Spec R. Now, like I was saying earlier, very powerful gun, very useful, but it burns through its clip very, very quickly, so you want to be very high maintenance with that gun. Be careful coming up to this part, because right around there, the game pulls the same dick move a second time. It'll spawn 2 people, so don't just run up, just sneak your way past them. Easy stuff. Bond's feet move pretty quickly when he's in a crouched position. Just the usual takedown method right here. Shoot him first, melee this guy. I don't think he quite understands what the word visual means. And we're brought right back around to this guy. I'm not gonna melee him, don't feel like it. Just hack this diode and you're done with your secondary objective. The rest is to just sabotage the cooling plants and be on your way. Coming up to this elevator, this is our way down, but that sign right there says alarm. So you know what that means. I have no idea why the alarm is linked to pressing the button on this to summon this elevator. But that's Janus for you, I suppose. I could have done this section a whole lot better, because right here, there goes my armor, there goes some of my health. Like I said, the Ivana Spec R is a very powerful gun. Body armor didn't last me very long. The caution music is still going, so I'm looking around just in case there's anybody else here, but it doesn't look like it. Like I thought he could be clever. The exact same deal as much of the game, as a matter of fact. Whole bunch of guys, a lot of them versus one of you, but you're given a fairly good position, lots of cover, high above them, so it's pretty jaded in your favor, especially since you're James Bond. The problem with this deal, though, is that they have grenades and you don't. So you still gotta be careful. And right here are the coolers. Time to start sabotaging. If you pay attention to your radar right here, you'll see 2 people coming up behind this cooler. And since we're in a fairly confined area, this is what the Masterton is for. That guy had the exact same idea. He had a Masterton of his own. But all that really means for us is more ammo. Be careful with this last cooler, because as soon as you walk past it, a whole bunch of people are going to spawn in the next room. But it's okay, because you have the Masterton. You have a fully automatic shotgun. I just love the very concept of it. It's just such a wonderful gun. I just want to note that we're coming up to 20 minutes on this video. If you'll remember in the last update in the jungle, at exactly 20 minutes, or well, close enough to it, the audio started to get really warped and distorted. It's a problem with my new capture device, and I'm not quite sure how to work around it other than, well, pretty much exactly what I did for this update. Just wanted to note that, but back to the game, there's some body armor right there, and you're probably going to need it. Especially if you're me. I like how Bond thinks. If he wants an elevator to move, he punches the hell out of the button. Here we are, right at the base of the cradle, way up there. I don't know if solar power facilities actually look like that, but it's very pretty. But you're ambushed as soon as you take a couple steps forward. Once again, it's a whole bunch of them versus one of you. You are James Bond, so it's about 50-50 in this case. You want to keep your eyes peeled though, because if you leave anyone alone for too long, they will completely wreck you. In this room is another Kalos with Grenadier, and in here, just in case you want it. I don't particularly want it. It could come in useful later for this section, but I feel much more comfortable with my submachine gun. Second verse, same as the first verse. There are people all over the place that have rocket launchers, their own rocket launchers to use against you. You want to be very careful around them. You probably want to take them out first, like I'm not doing right now, because if they get a decent shot on you, they will completely destroy you. That's what rocket launchers do, after all. Now, I know there's no ammo for the Ivana anywhere around here, but I look anyway. Way off in that corner is some more body armor. Very decent to have in this situation. And there's the auto-aim just doing what it wants. It can be your best friend and your worst enemy at times. And we're at the home stretch, just one more swarm of bad guys to take care of and we're good. Be sure to use cover to your advantage. The boxes to your right, they could serve as cover, but because they're boxes, they won't last very long. Now I don't want to... ah, geez, grenades. Don't forget about that. Those grenades will also completely ruin you. Like they did those boxes. In one of my early recordings, I had actually run out of ammo for the Ivana, and I had to switch over to the Masterton. It was a very tense fight. I really liked it, and I kind of wanted to keep that clip, but it got really, well, botched, let's say. It got really botched. And this is why this is take 6 or 7. But at least this fight went much better. Just up these stairs, and we win.
Drop the gun! Get your hands in the air! You're surrounded!
Take me to Janice.
Give me that! Move! Move!
Okay, easy, Captain Neckbeard. Anyway, that was the solar power facility. There's only one level left to do in the single-player campaign, and I hope to see you there.